Tonight on Business Live, tax expert calls for review of royalty and income tax payment for the extractive sector to save the economy from the resource curse.
You take the royalty, you don't have any deductions before you pay. Once we know the value, we multiply by the price, and then we apply the rate on the value, and then we get the royalty.
The executive director for the GMP's foundation is concerned about how corporate social investments are done in the country. He explains.
Encouraging and all to invest directly into and grow with the communities by honoring the social contract it has with them.
2021 U.S. Diversity Visa Lottery sees massive patronage by Ghanaians, citing COVID-19 and job losses as reasons.
The same suffer they suffer there, you suffer the same thing here. But by the end of the day, they come down and you realize they earn more than you. So when you had a chance, it's always good to go there.
Nothing much, I'm just trying. I've been trying for 2 years now, so I'm still trying.
Hello and welcome. I'm Israel. The details follow shortly. Tax expert Dr. Abdallah Ali Nashia wants the government to take another look at the structure of royalty and income tax payments in the extractive sector, especially in the mining industry. He explains the current rate of payment will not help government realize the revenue it needs from the sector. Dr. Nashia suggests instead of increasing taxes to raise revenue as part of the post-COVID-19 economic recovery, the government should rather restructure the royalties payment from the mining companies. He was speaking at the 8th Pan-African Conference on Illicit Financial Flows and Taxation in Accra.
Key tax instruments have been royalty and corporate income tax. Royalty is what you pay when you extract the resource, and it is a cost when the company pays the government. It's a cost that it can deduct from its operations. And so the idea is that if you take the royalty, you don't have any deductions before you pay. Once we know the value, we multiply by the price, and then we apply the rate on the value, and then we get the royalty. But if you come to the income tax, the person needs to prepare his financial statement, file his tax returns, do all his deductions. And that is where the challenge is, that if you don't have the capacity to go through the records, they may be undertaking certain aggressive tax planning schemes which would lead to loss of revenue to the state. But at the royalty level, they don't have those deductions. And so there is that element of certainty. So in some countries like Zambia, until recently, they don't even take corporate tax. They were taking only the royalty. Because if you take a lot of expenses and report a loss, government gets nothing. But with the royalties, you don't have any deductions. So the debate has been to balance royalty and corporate tax. But you can't have a high corporate tax and have a high royalty at the same time. And so the idea is that if you have to lower corporate tax, we are saying then you need to look at the royalty, because you can't lose it. And so I'm thinking that we could do a simulation. If we fix royalty at 5%, corporate tax at 35%, what has been the inflows? If we increase royalty to 10% and reduce corporate tax to 30%, what will be the inflows? If we take the data of the filings by the entities, then we can take an informed decision which way to go.
80% of businesses are expected to recover from the negative impact of COVID-19 by June next year. That's according to the Association of Ghana Industries Business Confidence Index. There's more in this report.
The report said about 25% of companies intend to hire more workers in the next 6 months, with construction polling marginally higher, with about 30% of firms in that sector having the intention to hire. But there is a higher proportion of about 44% that planned to make new investments, tax reliefs from government, the adoption of new marketing strategies, and investing in IT infrastructure are the 3 decisions firms judged necessary to improve revenue streams in this COVID-19 period. In terms of loan renegotiations, only 22% renegotiated their loans with banks, considering the effects of COVID-19. With regards to employment measures adopted since the COVID-19 outbreak, laying off workers with 38% of the share led in the employment measures to mitigate the impacts of the pandemic, followed by the reduction in salaries, which recorded 28%. Also, construction and manufacturing resorted mainly to laying off workers, while the service sector reduced workers' salaries. On insurance, the majority of 74% of small firms do not have insurance policy, but 7 out of every 10 medium firms have an insurance policy. In total, 4 out of every 10 firms sampled have an insurance policy.
The Director of Human Resources Department at the Volta Rural Authority says productivity at the workplace hinges on human resource managers. Dr. Ejeni Boateng tells Joy Business HR managers of both private and public sector institutions must strategically work with organizational policies to ensure economic stability.
So HR has a very key and fundamental role in every business. Let me just very quickly say that HR has to play a strategic role. So you are not just a transactional person, as it were, pushing papers or touching buttons, but you actually have to understand the strategy of the business, and that is how you'll be able to get the people to go along and perform. Because when we talk about productivity, it doesn't just come by chance. Policies, processes must be put in place. People must appreciate that and be able to work within the confines of whatever the organizational strategy is so that they can deliver. In trying to deliver, HR has a responsibility to plan, to work to plan the activities of the people, working through other line managers and other business leaders. HR must be ahead of how to organize, the businesses and organize the people. HR needs to coordinate all these activities. We need to monitor whatever is going on through policies and procedures and, walking around, interacting. And we need to ensure that there is evaluation at the end of the day, because through that, transparent evaluation process, then people know that they are recognized for what they do. And by that, you are promoting efficiency. And so you get everybody along. At the end of that kind of, activity, then you have the business now counting its little coins, and then see how the bottom line, it's like profitability and everything we talk, it is delivered through the people. And if HR is a people practitioner, then you work through the people to ensure that business strategy and business, profitability are all achieved.
The Executive Director for the JNPC Foundation, Dr. Dominic Kedua, has entreated corporate entities to adopt a more responsive policy in the corporate social investment in their host communities. He shared that it's prudent to invest and grow with communities, organizations, operations, adding that such considerations enhance the entity's success and ability and credibility. He made this comment at the premiering of a documentary of GNPC's Foundation's corporate social responsibility projects taking since 2017 to stakeholders in Takrady. Natalia has more on this report.
Adia noted that the commitment of GNPC Foundation towards supporting and enhancing community development has been sustained through innovation and a consultative approach with beneficiary and stakeholders in addressing critical needs. He commended that corporate entities emulate same to support community and national developments.
The foundation has since its establishment facilitated development through community engagement and intervention that inspires growth of communities within our production enclave and beyond. Offering opportunities to Ghanaians to develop and acquire the requisite know-how to play their part in harnessing Ghana's nascent oil and gas industry, impacting the lives of not less than 10 million Ghanaians in the next 5 years. Mr. Chairman, it is my firm expectation that this world reinvigorate us and all corporate entities who are putting the development of communities and the empowerment of people at the center of the activities. By this, I am encouraging and all to invest directly into and grow with the communities by honoring the social contract it has with them.
For years, residents in the Western region have complained about their inability to benefit from the oil exploration in commercial quantities. Deputy Western Regional Minister Gifty Eugenia Kusi commended the GNPC Foundation for making the best use of the oil proceeds to support the development of the country. She trusted the commitment taken by the GNPC, if sustained, will lead to the rapid development and transformation of the country.
We had to amend the mining and mineral law because going round and campaigning, we get our people shouting. We are suffering from these mines and energy installations, but nothing comes out of it because the sharing of royalties has been such that it is put in the constitution and it goes, everything goes into the consolidated fund. What comes to the disassembly is very, very insignificant. So people never felt the impact of whatever is being mined in your area.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, Noble Wadza, said the investment of GNPC and CSR should not be a yardstick for them to deviate from their core mandate of further oil exploration.
Whilst these things are good, that should not become a trappings for focusing away from the core mandates of GNPC. That is one of the advice we have given. Look at the documentary, I see people commending the fact that they have benefited from the oil revenue. Yes, that is true. But I hope you agree with me that a better benefit will have come even through the budget. The law provides that we spend 70% of our oil revenue through the national annual budget, which is the ABFA. But you realize from our reports that if about half of the annual budget from the oil, money from the oil gets into the annual budget. If about half of what gets into the budget, at times it's not utilized, and at times it's difficult to account for. Don't you think that would have been a better, we would have even scored more?
Now, with the number of COVID cases seeing an upward trajectory in recent days, there are fears a gradual revival of the event sector may be short-lived. Executive Director of Afro Nation, Rudy Kwachi, is however more optimistic. He believes despite the impact of the pandemic, the event industry would have a robust return to experiences.
One of the spaces that got hit super fast was obviously the tourism and entertainment industry. For the better part of 6 months, none of the colleagues I know in the local space was working, literally speaking. We put a body together called EMPACT, that's Events and Meetings Professionals Association of Ghana, and we did a little study which came out that the first quarter of lockdown from March to June, losses that we counted were in excess of 50 million cedis in revenues and turnover that just slipped. So for the eventing industry, I think you should watch out for a robust return to the experiences. It's going to be slightly different, but it's still going to have the same euphoria that you used to get, because the thing is this, we are all growing accustomed to how to react in the space. The thing is, we need a lot more real estate to put a lot more people. So if you're looking for 10,000 people and you're thinking about social distancing, we've seen all sorts of contractions in this period. Well, let's see what we can experiment with, but don't rule out the space. It's nearly not done yet, because human to human interactions is super basic, and I'm sorry, at a certain level, it needs to happen.
You're watching Business Live. We're taking a quick break. We'll be back with you in a bit. Welcome back to Business Live. Now, the 2021 U.S. Diversity Visa Lottery is seeing some massive patronage by Ghanaians who are citing COVID-19, that's in the COVID-19 pandemic, and job losses as reasons. Charles Aite has been speaking with some of them.
I'm here to register for the U.S. lottery.
Cafeteria is part of many Ghanaians who believe their economic fortunes will improve while they live and work in the United States as immigrants.
I like Ghana, but it is good when you go there, because of the inflation, the small dollar you bring here, you change, you get a lot of money, you push your agendas. That is the main reason why I want to go.
Joseph Iboa is a bus driver. He lost his job to the COVID-19 pandemic. He's had to scout for petty jobs to sustain his family. To him, his prosperity, financial independence strongly hinges on the U.S. visa lottery.
We do business, no money, no nothing, with a tire, nothing. And so we want to travel, then we go find our future.
Did you lose your job?
Yeah.
You lost your job?
Yeah. I've lost my own jobs. Yeah, I'm the transport owner. Now the things I had, no passenger to hand the car, to join the car. That's the only thing with the software. No money to.
Even without electricity, these guys have managed to get for themselves a generator set to register so many people under their tent. We get inside to interact with some of them who have been doing this for the past few weeks ever since the registrations opened. But how many guys have we been able to register today?
For the number, I'm not sure of the number unless I finish working before I'll check.
All these books here are people that you've registered?
Yes, please.
All these books? Ever since the whole thing started, how many guys have come here?
It will be in the 400, 500.
Ghana's appetite for U.S. visas has seen illegal visa businesses thrive. In a past high-profile incident, a fake U.S. embassy, which had operated thrice a week for 10 years in Accra, was shut down.
They are saying that some of these people who are outside is fraud. But to me, I don't know. So even when I got, I was questioning him as to whether this is what people are saying.
We have been facing some challenges like that. They will come and they will be asking, like, I went to this place, they not ask me this, I went to this place, they not. So one time they come and they will be asking you. So I also tell them what I know.
In 2015, the most recent year for which data is available, Ghana, with 1.73 million people, accounted for the highest number of applicants for the U.S. Diversity Visa Program, also known as Green Card Lottery.
What I've realized is the same suffer they suffer there, you suffer the same thing here. But by the end of the day, they come down and you realize they earn more than you. So when you had a chance, it's always good to go there.
Nothing much, I'm just trying. I've been trying for 2 years now, so I'm still trying. If something good comes out of it, fine.
Why do you want to go to the U.S.?
I don't have any particular reason, but it's part of life. It's an experience thing. So
America is everyone's dream. America is my dream. I want to be there. So why not? If I get a chance to be there, I'll be very glad to.
Are you saying you're not making it in Ghana?
I'm making it in Ghana. Ghana is cool. Ghana is very peaceful, a great nation, but you can't compare America to Ghana. At least we have to go and make some money and come back home and take care of the family. 3 issues are on the minds of these registrants who are partaking of this year's U.S. DV visa lottery. The first is the COVID-19 pandemic, which has killed over 250,000 Americans. They believe this could give them the best shot in this year's lotteries. The second has to do with the American elections, with Donald Trump losing and Joe Biden winning the elections. They believe that Joe Biden, the presidential-elect, gives them much more hope when it comes to the DREAMS Act and the various economic policies that he has brought on board. The last but not the least is Ghana's economy and the loss of several jobs due to COVID-19. Over 80,000 businesses have been lost, and most of these guys say it's the best chance for them to move a step closer to their dreams. I'm Charles Aita reporting for Joy Business.
Now, Gratis Foundation says the government is on course to developing the country with its industrialization policies. With agriculture being one of the beneficiary sectors, it is expected to undergo major transformation to end rice importation by 2022. Chief Executive of Gratis, Kofi Ejein team reveals a number of steps have been taken since last year to achieve this. However, COVID-19 is delaying some other steps. He was speaking at the certification of 25 persons, including NAPCO personnel trained at Ripco in partnership with Gratis and Tema. There's more in the following report.
Ripco Group is a wholly owned Ghanaian company that has operated in the last 4 decades in engineering, solar manufacturing, real estate, among others. It is pioneer in introducing global engineering technology, machine parts, local support to businesses in West Africa. Ripco is currently paying particular attention to renewable energy due to its impact in future. Chief Executive of Gratis, Kofi Adjei Intim, indicated that Ripco's role in training human resource for industries is crucial. In an interview, he says government prioritizes industrialization.
With the government's call for the local content to manufacture things, I think it's also an advantage for us to respond to the call of the government's local content. So to do this in engineering, you need to start making things on your own. You can't do all, but you pick a niche area where you are successful. So in the absence of that, we decided that we should start the engineering workshop. The workshop is for 2 folds. We do service for obsolete spare parts for companies who has old machines where they cannot get the parts. Then we started doing manufacturing for new equipment. Now, you cannot start all at the same time. But now we pick an area, 3 areas. We are now seeking clearance for Standard Board to give us the license. So we are going to do assembly of pumps and valves.
And that'll be all for Business Live for this evening. I'm Israelite. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good evening.